Just wondering, the game y'all had with the 49ers back in September, the way you all were able to win it there, right, this time expired. How big a catalyst was it for the rest of the season? How much of a spark was it? And also, I was just wondering how much you can take out of a game like that heading into the playoffs because it's been so long since y'all faced each other.
I think it was huge. Just getting that win streak going. We had just won our first game the week before, so getting that win streak and getting everything rolling. It was huge on the implications of the NFC and the standings, and glad we came out on top of that one. And it has been a little while since we played them, but you can still look at their tendencies and see some of the things what has changed and what hasn't changed since you last played them.
Ryan Wood.
Here, I think it's probably safe to say that the last two playoff losses in the NFC Championship game the past 2 years, you didn't, with the way you guys started, maybe give yourself the best chance in those games. How do you prevent that? And what do you take from those experiences and maybe to get a hotter start in this postseason?
For sure, like you said, it starts with that just coming out, starting fast. We got to be the tone setters from the jump, and I think that just starts off with us internally. We got to get that done.
Rachel Hotmeyer.
Hey, Aaron. The Niners use Debo Samuels in so many different ways. He's a lot more than a wide receiver. As a running back, what type of threat do you see in him?
Well, he's versatile out of the backfield. When you line him up in the backfield, he can take it to the house when you hand it off to him, but he can also be used as a receiver out of the backfield, which is a mismatch on most linebackers. So that's another way to get him a mismatch, and I feel like they do a good job of finding ways to get him the ball.
Bill Huber.
Hey, Aaron, how you doing?
Good, and you?
Good, thanks. Hate to bring up something negative from the past, but last year's class with the fumble. How much does that eat at you, and how much does that motivate you here for this next few games that you got coming up?
I moved on from that. I've played a lot of football after that, so I think I've made up for it. But just keeps me hungry. We were right there, so keeps me hungry, and got to get it.
Wes Hodgwitz.
Aaron, obviously you've known the difference now between playing, excuse me, in Lambeau with 78,000 or really nobody. Just what kind of environment are you expecting on Saturday night, and how big of a difference does that make actually having a full crowd again?
It makes a huge difference. You can feel the energy, you can feel the juice that our fans bring. I've been told by different players that this is one of the louder stadiums in the NFL, so we can definitely feel their energy, and we feed off of it. So I'm glad to have everybody back in the stands.
Cassidy Hill.
Hey, Aaron, it looks like the 49ers will for sure have Fred Warner back, maybe Bosa as well. I know it may seem like an obvious question, but what do they bring? How does their defense change having both of those guys there in the front seven?
They're elite players. They're difference makers. So with them on the field is going to be a huge difference, and with them off the field is going to be a difference as well. So I'm pretty sure they're glad to have those guys, and yeah.
Is there anything in particular you can do maybe in blocking or reads to kind of help Aaron Rodgers negate those two? Don't give away your game plan, but what do you have to do to sort of to zero in on those two guys?
The scheme's not just based on two people. They have other players across the board. Their whole D line, they get after it. They have fast linebackers, so it's not just those two guys. Everybody flies around.
MK Burgess.
Speaking of linebackers, Whitney Merciless, what has it been like to see him back on the field, and what kind of just juice has he brought just seeing him back and the possibility of having him back on the field for your defense?
My guy stepped into a time machine. I was like, I don't think I've ever seen anybody come back this fast off of a bicep. So definitely glad to have him back on the field with us. He's a true veteran, a true leader. Even when he first got hurt up until now, he was here every day, working with us, talking to us, being a true leader. So just to have that vet back on the field and some experience, I'm happy to have him back.
Tim Van Boren.
Good afternoon, Aaron. You did not play in Detroit, and you obviously had off last week. Do you have fresh legs? What is the value of fresh legs this time of year?
I definitely feel like I got fresh legs. The value, just being, I feel like you can be a little step faster, um, and take a little bit more hit, take a little bit more contact just because you're a little bit fresher. You've had time to get your body back up underneath you.
Mark Daniels.
Hey, Aaron, got me?
Yes, sir.
Hey, Aaron, what are your expectations as far as the timing, cohesion? If you get David, Josh, and maybe Billy back, an offensive line that hasn't, I know they played a lot of football, but they haven't played in a while. Can you really expect, the timing and the function to be, top notch right out of the gate?
I mean, they have played football in a while. They all played within the last 2-3 weeks. Everybody's played. But speaking on what you're saying, I mean, no matter who's in there, they all do a great job, and you haven't seen any let up when one person comes in or comes out. So I think Steno does a great job with those guys. So they'll be ready to play.
Mark from the New York Post.
Can you describe Aaron Rodgers as a leader, and if there's anything about him that changes in the postseason?
Yes, I could definitely describe him as a leader. He's someone who cares about everyone, who wants to see everyone do good things, but he's also going to help you along the way. He's going to bring you along, and I feel like that's one characteristic of a leader. He's not just worried about himself. He brings guys along with them, teaches them, shows them the ropes, or gives them advice, or just becomes someone to look up to.
Just as a follow, does he change at all during the off season? I mean, in the postseason at all? I mean, does things get a little more intense or ratchet up?
He's the same guy every day. Fun loving guy. I love being around him. And no, but he lets you know, hey, this is playoff football. No need to change anything we've done. Continue to do the same things, but just a little urgency.
Thank you.
Ryan Woods.
I know you say you moved past the fumble, and rightly so. You've done so many big things in your career, but because of that, it's been so rare for you to have a play like that. Was that challenging for you to move past because it was so different than how the rest of your career's been gone?
We talking about a fumble from last year. We're about to be in the NFC, not in the NFC Championship, but we're about to play a playoff game. So I'm not worried about last year and what happened in last year's game. All I can control is what's going to happen in this game. So I'm looking forward to that. But it did have an effect on me. I thought about it for a long time, and but I've played football. I've got that off my chest, and I moved on from it. So I'm good.
Hey, Aaron, when you look just at AJ and where he came from last year to this year, and obviously being the thunder to your light without Jamal this year, where do you feel that he grew the most, and just how do you feel about that 1-2 now finally going into a postseason together?
Ooh, it's tough to say one area where he grew the most. If I had to choose, I'd say either receiving or pass protection. It's tough. Both of them, well, protecting you got to be able to do to play and take care of A-Rod. So that's one of the bigger things. And then catching the ball out of the backfield, you want to be diverse and versatile, especially someone his size and stature. When he get in the game, they might load the box. They might see him, they're going to run the ball. But no, he can catch the ball out of the backfield too. So I think that just helps his game.
Oh, sorry to interrupt. Aaron Rodgers is headed to his Zoom. We'll continue here with Jason Wilde.
Aaron, going back to last year's postseason in a different way, you and Jamal put up, 165 yards or something rushing in that Rams game. And then obviously the production wasn't quite the same in the next game. How important is it for you and AJ to set the tone in a playoff game to get the running game going and maybe even make Matt stick with the running game more than he might otherwise?
I think it's huge. It like you said, it sets the tone. That means the guys up front are getting after it as well, and it takes pressure off of other people as well. It lightens the things up. They can't just go too high and play coverage. Now they have to respect the running backs and respect the run game.
Tom Silverstein.
Hey, Aaron, I was going to ask you about playing with a fullback in the backfield, but before that, I wanted to ask if you saw the Cowboys game where they lined up two offensive linemen in the backfield in like a wishbone kind of deal against San Francisco.
I didn't see it. No, sir, I
Okay.
didn't see it.
I
wouldn't mind
if
having
you'd-
two offensive linemen in front of me, though, for sure.
Yeah, it was pretty interesting. But you often line up with a tight end. What is the advantages and disadvantages of having a fullback in the lineup?
I'd say the advantages is you just got one more like blocker who's assigned to a specific person instead of like a DB. There's assigned to probably somebody in the box or but then also most of the time when it's a fullback in, the teams are thinking run. So I guess that's the. But I mean I like running with somebody in front of me. I don't mind it.